they don't need to work with your brand necessarily.
Yep.
Sure, maybe some up and coming micro creators are more eager and willing to try things as they grow, but we're seeing creators become their own media entities
Mm-hmm.
where they are starting to dictate more of the terms.
We're back with another episode of This Could Work, the podcast where we celebrate creative risk-taking and the people shaping the future of brands. I'm your host, Will Trowbridge, founder of the creative agency Saylor. Today on the pod, we have Nneka Enurah Lee, a creator partnerships leader who has spent the past 15 years at the intersection of creators, brands, and storytelling at places like Amazon Advertising, Hello Sunshine, and Mass Appeal. She joined us at Saylor earlier this year to lead Fleet, our new creator studio. We have been having a version of this conversation since she walked through the door, but now we get to have it on the podcast. Nneka, welcome to This Could Work. First and foremost, what's your job?
My job?
I have no idea.
No idea.
Yeah.
I lead creator and brand partnerships at Saylor underneath the Fleet umbrella, Saylor's new creator studio, and I flip and love it.
What was your life pre-Saylor? Let's go back. Let's spend a little bit of time just kind of tracing the steps that led you here and, of course, your journey with creators.
I have been living and working in the realm of digital, social, and even unscripted content for about 15 years, working across unscripted production companies, media platforms. We started to see a trend even during my time at the unscripted days where brands really wanted to activate with like-minded talent that weren't the traditional A-list celebrities. And that was sort of the formation of my first sort of creator multi-platform department at Authentic back in yikes, I don't want to age myself, 2015. But what I can say is consistently the authenticity that creators bring to the table, you can't get it anywhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that's what brands really want to lock into, especially in a very noisy world that we're in now.
So what did the brief look like in 2015 in that example you brought up versus today? Like, has it changed?
Originally, the brief went something like, so we have this series, we have these episodes, we have these cut downs. Can you identify influencer talent or online talent in this space who can repost our assets and post a separate video about watching these 2 episodes about the show. Nowadays, they've gotten a little bit better. There's the brands that I think are really knocking it out of the park are saying, hey, during the ideation phase, who are the creators and partners that we should be talking to help inform what the content should look like, how we should reach out to the audience, bringing them in early enough to make it feel organic and original enough, not cookie cutter templatized. Like if you have a series or initiative or a product that you're launching and everybody has the exact same asset to work with, the audience isn't stupid. It doesn't look genuine. It's boring. No. It's like, oh, I already saw that, so I'm not going to engage. So it's gotten better. Like I said, still some room to grow.
It's like there's a level of parody now on social where it's like audiences don't really care if a brand or a creator or a celebrity publishes something. If it's fundamentally great, if it's entertaining, they will watch it, engage with it, etc. But let's be honest, those creators and celebrities are gaining more attention than those brands are. And I would say the lines between what is seen as a celebrity and creator are, fuzzier than they've ever been. So when you think about kind of like the 2015 to now, like how much is it the platforms that have changed? Is it the creators that have changed? Is it the celebrities have changed? Like, what has changed to make the kind of pendulum swing?
The way they engage every day across platforms, like there's multi-platform viewing. No one's just watching their TV. And it's a struggle to sit in a movie theater and not pull out your phone.
Yeah.
And so there's a competition for attention. And every day they're connecting with creators across platforms who they like. The algorithms across platforms are really tailoring to you as an individual, right? And you start to feel like you have a relationship. There's earned trust there that's established. Well, if this creator that I really look up to says this is really dope, I really like all their content,
Right.
I comment on their material, let me check it out. Let me look at it. I don't care if it's LinkedIn, I don't care if it's Instagram, I don't care if it's TikTok. If you're following a particular creator, you develop a sort of affinity and connection to them because you like what they have to say, you feel that they're an authority, they are really ambassadors, but then so much more. And so because of that behavioral shift, the traditional ad isn't doing what it used to do at all.
Right.
And if you really want to move the needle, you need to go where your audience is. So I'll give an example. A couple years ago, CeraVe did this cool campaign with Michael Cera.
I'm Michael Cera, and I'm pleased to announce that this is my cream. CeraVe. Oh, you didn't know? Generosity. The truth has been hiding in plain sight. I am CeraVe.
What I liked about it was, on the surface, it looks, oh, that's celebrity-led. They did a lot more than that. They engaged a number of creators to create this world where Michael Cera was like a leader at CeraVe, and like he's the dermatologist expert. They had creators that I even like following, like Dr. Shaw, do interviews with him. Just ask very technical, pharmaceutical-like questions for like a month. The audience and the community on social was like, this is unhinged. We know it's a game. We know
Yeah.
we know it's not real. But is it? And how far are they willing to take it? You engaged with the real community, the real leaders, the real experts who already had that audience on lock. Yes, you leveraged the celebrity name for that campaign, but it really wasn't about him to that degree. It was more about, okay, let's bring him into our world
Yeah.
and see how he reacts with creators who talk about this every day. Hilarious, performed tremendously well. They saw an uptick in sales. This is how you really reach your audience now. This is how
Yeah.
you move the needle. This isn't just about brand awareness, views, and impressions. It's also about moving the needle for your bottom line.
It's all about actually convincing real people to care about your product. And that Super Bowl spot is one, it's probably the noisiest time of the, in advertising every single year. Everyone is a celebrity. Michael Cera would just be one data point of many that day, but it's the creator campaign that teed it up and then, of course, paid it off. That ultimately, I believe, I don't have the data in front of me, probably convinced everyone to buy. So at the, it's almost like a non-negotiable these days, but it's still viewed as almost a kind of like, and it's an asterisk to the idea. It's like Michael Cera partnership with CeraVe is how marketers are thinking. And then they're like, how do we get creators involved? But I think what's I'm noticing is it's almost flipping.
I'll even give a more recent example that no traditional celebrity involved. Irwan and son Chlorella did this very fun campaign and initiative with, I want to say 35 creators, where they were posting content and popping up at Irwan's. They saw a 900% increase in sales. 900% increase in sales. because, oh, my favorite creator is physically there.
Right.
Let me roll up. Let me buy
Mm-hmm.
that product because I'm going to get to meet with and engage. Like what we considered celebrity before, great, still true in many ways, but
Yep.
the celebrity I see every day is in my phone
It's
or on my
accessible.
YouTube.
It's truly feels accessible, right? It's like, to your point, this celebrity that I'm obsessed with is at the Erewhon down the street. Instead of being like, the celebrity I'm obsessed with is in that movie this summer. It's like, that is such a different level of authenticity and access that I think really appeals to younger people today, and well, all of us, but especially younger people today, and really drives action and changes behavior, which is, of course, what you're getting at.
Totally. Fundamentally, working with creators, in my opinion, is far more effective.
Yeah.
It's far more effective. You're closer to the end consumer by
Yep.
working with these creators, these voices that they hear or see every day and who guide their decision making. I find myself getting caught up where I'm like, oh, so-and-so recommended this. I've got to click on that link. I
I know.
at least need to consider it. Normally I'd ignore that. I would ignore the crap out of that.
Didn't I just send you a LinkedIn creator ad for a measurement tool? It's like literally all I need is a trusted voice to tell me to pay attention, and I take the cue. You know, it's funny. It's like if that platform had, done a massive LinkedIn B2B campaign, I'm sure I wouldn't have had that same response. I would have been like, they're paying for my eyeballs, and they, of course, have no understanding of what I do or why I do it. But this creator, who I understand where they come from and why they do what they do, I feel very aligned with that. I also understand that they've been where I've been, and so, of course, I'll take my cue and run with it.
More and more brand partners are starting to catch on. I think the piece that they're still missing, Will, is really understanding it from the creator POV and their lens.
Right.
The one-off campaign, it doesn't help their audience or their community, and it really doesn't move the needle for your brand or your business. What I think HubSpot did a recent study with 300 creators in 2026, and only 6% of those creators said, oh yeah, we're totally down with doing whatever a brand recommends that we do across
Right.
our channels. 6%.
Yeah, brands.
It's a hard no.
Why would a brand know what to do with your channel?
You are the expert at your brand. You are not the expert at this creator's brand.
Exactly.
Don't think it doesn't work that way. It has to be more collaborative. We have to bring our creators in earlier as partners. They need to respect that your brand, your objectives, and the history of your brand, and you need to respect that they have command of that audience and they know what will work for them. They don't need to work with your brand necessarily.
Yep.
Sure, maybe some up-and-coming micro creators are more eager and willing to try things as they grow, but we're seeing creators become their own media entities where they are starting to dictate more of the terms. It would behoove us all to engage with them as the partners that they are, not as a line item in some media budget.
Well, I think that's maybe the difference, right? It's like creators as media is kind of the traditional strategy, right? That a lot of marketers have taken, and I'd say from 2015 up till now, maybe let's just we'll give it a couple of months, like 6 months ago, a year, it's been creators as media, and I think that is fundamentally what Fleet is all about, right? It's like we are thinking of it very differently than that. Creators are a great way to access audiences, just like a media buy is, but there's a fundamental different way of approaching that strategy that will give you exponential returns.
Absolutely. So at Fleet, what we really think about is how can we unlock true business outcomes in partnership with creators. There's a variety of ways to bring creators into your campaigns and marketing strategy, but we always will put forward sort of always on level of thinking with creators.
Mm-hmm.
Really build that sense of community and connection and authenticity over time with that creator and their audience, so that when you are ready to drop that new product, when you are ready to launch that new initiative, the audience is already teed up, warmed up. They're ready to receive that message
Trust you.
from the creator.
Yep. Totally.
You can't just, oh, we're just going to do this at the last minute. You're competing with a lot of noise. Why would I pay attention if I haven't been like, oh, I've been seeing this over time. They've been mentioning this. They went to this thing. They went to that thing in association with that brand. I could tell they genuinely really love that brand and that
Right.
product. Okay, so then when you drop the big thing, the moment, it's going to deliver a far better return than if you just like, oh, let's just drop and see what happens because we did this. Also, side note, paid media has a place in all things, but when you do something with a creator, in my opinion, and you have to put paid media on it, what was the point?
Kind of crazy.
What was the point? And I'm sorry, that might be my hot take. What are y'all doing?
What is the
Stop.
point? I know. Just pay.
Stop.
Skip the creator piece and just pay. God.
I'm seeing a little
yeah.
too much of that. Real talk.
No, I know. It's real. But I think that's because, like you said, people are refusing to change their actual approach to this whole strategy. Like they're still using that 2015 mentality in a very different social landscape. I saw this morning that Shay Mitchell sold her luggage company base to Samsonite. Would you say that Shay Mitchell is a creator, a celebrity, or a actress, or like how would you define her in 2026? And obviously, I feel like we're seeing a lot of kind of celebrity-led, creator-led brands break through and, of course, be valued at a very high amount of money. I'd be curious to hear your take on kind of how 2026 audiences see Shay Mitchell and fundamentally why this business was so successful.
So the first thing I'll say is, love you, Shay. My husband and I have your luggage.
There you go.
We love it. In my mind, she's an entrepreneur, but to me, creators are entrepreneurs. She can act. She's a tremendous actress. Nobody's checking for her for that. They're checking for her because of the audience she commands, the product that she built, and she was able to move the needle with that built-in community.
Right.
Because of her personal brand. And then also really being serious about, I'm going to create a product and I'm going to get real-time feedback from the comments. I saw something where they hosted a recent creator event. They had so many creators get the brand new version of the bag, the suitcase, and they were in detail talking about, this is why I love it. This is how it aligns with my lifestyle and what I'm doing as a creator. I mean, she is a creator who is now able to work with and collaborate and leverage other creators to amplify the marketing for her product and drive sales. She's a businesswoman to me. I know she can act. I love her as an actress. I'm not checking for her like that. I'm looking for like, what's the latest product? What's the latest sale on these bags?
Totally. I just feel like that's so different than how she probably started her career. And I think that it's about how do I own my distribution? How do I own my attention? How do I like think about this over time and use the cachet I'm getting in this area to start informing this one? It's about her as a business person or as a creator. I just feel like that is, when it comes down to it, the future of all talent. How can you monetize this audience, this attention that you're getting, and start building things that you never thought were possible?
It's also what the ecosystem now demands. Truly, this is how audiences and consumers are discovering content. This
Right.
is how I'm going to discover that new movie just dropped ticket sales. Like, I can get the ticket. Like, this is where we are.
Mm-hmm.
There's sadly no going back for anyone who's still hoping for
Nostalgic.
I'm sorry. No, our behavior shifted. And
Yeah.
we have to keep up with the fact that what I love about the creator space is that it is not trying to tell the audience, this is what you should do. This is
Mm-hmm.
what you should like. This is how you should behave. It's engaging with them and meeting them right where they are. And that's why there's minimal friction.
Right.
When you're trying to get people to behave in a way that they used to, that's an uphill battle. Good luck. And you're going to burn through some money while you do that.
Well, I think that that's the difference between kind of like a creator and a brand, right? A brand is typically messaging outward around, please pay attention to me. I have this great product and I need people to buy it to survive as a brand, right? Versus a creator is saying, I have a lot to say that could bring value to your everyday life, right? It's a kind of two-way conversation. And audiences are saying, I love that. Please tell me more about it. And that creator can say, of course. Well, here's a little bit of it's a new take on that same question, or here is some advice I'd give, and it builds a real relationship. And so I think for brands, I know it's a big part of how Saylor thinks. Brands should start acting more like creators, think about it, building a two-way dialogue that ultimately brings entertainment value to audiences in hopes of building a long-term relationship. Of course, we believe that creators should always be part of the marketing mix for a brand, but it's not the only thing. You have to also advertise in all sorts of different ways to, achieve your goals as a brand. But how you advertise and how you show up and how you communicate with audiences every day is completely up to you. So that's, at the end of the day, like, what I think is the opportunity, right, is not only to, of course, hire creators, but act like one yourself as a brand marketer.
Totally. I couldn't agree more, because if you don't, you are going to be so irrelevant so fast. Because if you think like a creator, well, that means being really locked in with your audience and your community. You're not just talking at them anymore. You're
Right.
engaging with them. You're a part of the dialogue with them. That will make you more effective, frankly, more efficient. You'll be able to react quicker when a moment pops, because you're locked in with the community already. You're not just like, oh, let me come and visit. We went into the lab, came up with this whole strategy, didn't talk to any creators, didn't do any social listening. We're just like, this is what we want to sell, and then hope people respond to it. Nobody has time. We have options. The consumer has options. Why am I interested in you?
Fundamentally, like, it's getting back to kind of like Shay Mitchell. It's like the world is the same, but also completely different. Like, celebrities always had immense power and generated a ton of attention. Brands always needed to market and advertise, of course, to their consumers. But like, the way that celebrities are gaining attention and what they're doing with it now is fundamentally different. How brands need to show up to achieve the same goals that they had 10 years ago needs to be different.
Totally. Like, I'll give another example that really ties into connecting with your audience and being relatable. I can't remember the creator's name, but they did a TikTok post about like being tatted up like a Chipotle bag.
Mm-hmm.
Thank goodness somebody on the Chipotle social media team was locked in and said, wait, there's something to do with that. And so Friday the 13th, they gave like a flash sale for any customer that was tatted up like a Chipotle bag. Needless to say, they saw an increase in their social engagement that exceeded like more than over 2 years. And of course, for a non-peak moment in the day where they did this flash sale, sales quadrupled. Why? Oh, you're talking to me, the
Right.
Chipotle customer that's tatted up like a Chipotle bag. Let me roll up. Oh, you're thinking about me? I'm special today?
Right.
And then, of course, they're telling their friends. Like, think about the customer as a real person and understand them. Creators do this organically all the time. If they aren't effective at it, well, they don't really have a following.
Yep.
They have to think about that 24/7, and they do.
Yep.
That's why working with them in so many ways is, honestly, it's kind of like a cheat code sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
They're locked in. They are your
Yeah.
expert.
They know how to do it. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And they also have that, they understand how to communicate in those moments to audiences and get them to pay attention immediately rather than it being some incremental gain over time, you know? It's about how do you harness attention at a moment's notice. I feel like there's so much we could talk about. I've loved all the examples that you've brought up. I feel like at the end of the day right now, marketers need to be paying attention to, of course, the creator space, but also just the changes in the creator space. I think that that is like what we're noticing more than anything here at Saylor is that we've been doing creator marketing since the very beginning at Saylor. We've actually it's kind of strange to say this, but we've really never drawn too much of a distinction between social marketing and creator marketing. It's truly one offering here, not only because audiences see it as that, right? Then we are here to kind of connect brands with audiences, but because there's so much opportunity for one to feed the other, and I think that for brands who are still operating with a bit of a blueprint of how to approach creator marketing, creators as media, thinking that there's an endless well of creators that you can just shovel the same brief at, you're kind of crazy, and we have to fundamentally think about how do we enter the new era, the new chapter of creator advertising together. And I feel like you're a great leader to help us at Saylor do that, of course, but to help brands do that too.
Thank you. And what I would say is, I just don't want brand partners to waste time, money, or resources trying to do it the old way.
Mm-hmm.
Take a real deep look at how effective your traditional um, plans have worked, and look at what your specific competition is doing. The brands that are really resonating with the end consumer and also winning awards and also getting the buzz, they're taking a very different approach, which I get it. It means maybe you need to restructure internally a little bit. Maybe you
Right.
need to shift the mentality and ideology of how your company and team has worked previously. I get it. Change is weird. Change is hard, but
Mm-hmm.
you really need to get moving fast, because creators now have a lot more agency than they did before. They are, in many ways, they are the brand.
It's like not every celebrity is going to just pick up the phone if a brand calls. Like, why would they? They have a brand to worry about, right? And I think that's where creators are at today, at least the most kind of impactful, valuable ones are, right? It's like they're thinking of themselves not only as, oh, of course I need money, but at the end of the day, I also have an audience to fundamentally serve every day, to keep them entertained, to keep them engaged, because that's going to pay dividends over time for me as a creator, as a human, and so on and so forth. Just thinking about even the base example, it's like for Shay Mitchell to focus on anything other than base, maybe over the past couple of years, is a real choice, and it comes at a cost, right? She could focus on her own brand, which is now she just exited for $250 million, or she could focus on yours. I just feel like that is the reality for where brands and creators are at today. They have to think as one to create something truly effective for audiences.
Totally. And what I will say is, for the more up and coming creators that are starting to see true traction, they are still incredibly open to working with brand partners. But to your point, they do have to protect their brand.
Yeah.
They're not going to do work with you that is not in alignment with their audience and their community. So approaching them from a POV of, hey, we really want to partner with you and we want your POV on how we should execute against this will go a very long way, not only to establish more trust with that creator, hopefully, knock on wood, a longer term relationship with that creator and their community, but also immediate ROI because the creative, the concept, the rollout, the execution, it will land because they know they have the data. They know what lands for their audience and they know what won't.
That's right. Well, Nneka, thank you so much for the time. It's a pleasure working with you, and I'm really excited for all that's ahead for Fleet.
Yes, I'm excited as well. Thank you for having me on. And yeah, everyone be on the lookout. More to come from Team Fleet at Saylor.
This Could Work is a production of Saylor Creative Agency and hosted by Will Trowbridge, the CEO and founder. The show is executive produced by Ray Vada and produced and edited by Corey Lubowich. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.